Hello and welcome back to Automotive Tales. On today's episode, we are going to review the Proforma invoice for all of the work that he's doing to the Volvo 850 T-5R. Rightio, the appraisal went on and on for many hours. One, because the lovely yellow Volvo does have a lot of problems, and so there's lots of stuff to look at and lots of stuff to note, and also because when you've got an annoying YouTuber getting in your way, it does tend to slow your job down. Anyway, we're a few weeks down the line and the results are in. Now, the first thing you need to know about the results is the paperwork has a staple in the corner, which means there are multiple pages of to do on this Volvo, which is not entirely surprising, but let's have a quick run through. So there's the usual charges for carrying out the health checks. So this isn't a freebie. They are doing a lot of work for me, and so we're covering the costs of that. So for the time spent in doing the health check, they've actually been very generous with their time and what they charge me for that. And then we're into the things we immediately know that are wrong. So aircon regas. Further down the list, I think it's on page 2 or page 3, there is an item to then do further fault finding. We don't think regas is the only problem, because it was blowing cold at some point in the past, but the pump's making a bit of a funny noise, because while I had the whole system refurbished, I want to say recently, but about 11 years ago, I very shortly after that had a problem with the power steering pump, which failed, the bearing failed, it leaked power steering fluid down onto the AC pump, which is right below the power steering. And so I think the clutch material in the clutch pack on the front of the AC pump got some oil in it, and so there's always a little bit of an intermittent fault. So regas the aircon and then do a bit of fault finding. We've then got tyre fitting, so it's up to me to source the tyres. I'm going to try and get in touch with Envoy and work with Paul where we can, see whether something can be done, but I'm potentially going to have to pay for those tyres, and there's a small charge for fitting them, but we'll come back to that. And then usual service items, so renewing the engine oil. Then there's near side front indicator bulb that wasn't functioning. The horn was a little bit intermittent, so there might be some terminals need cleaning up in the steering wheel, or possibly the connectors under the bonnet might be a bit corroded. New wiper blades all round, that's very standard. They have perished terribly when they've been out in the sun. We need to do some struts, so the tailgate strut needs doing, so the boot doesn't always land on my head. I have a nice little Volvo flat spot here. And also the dog guard. So my T-5R has got a dog guard that sits above the rear seats, so that if you've got parcels and or a small animal in the back of the car, then it's not going to come through when you're braking, or if it's just exploring. But that doesn't stay up, it only stays down, which is slightly annoying, so you can't have it up and get a better view at the back. Renew the alternator, so we tested it in one of the previous videos. It's not running as well as it can do. It hasn't failed yet, but it will probably fail imminently if it's already losing its output voltage. We've also got renew the battery, so get the correct battery in there, and also they're going to clean up and repair the battery terminals, which are a bit loose and looking fairly worn out, because that battery terminal's been on and off a lot. Rear discs and pads, shoes and fitting kits, that's all the rear brakes are all going to need doing, so we just do everything and we know it's good. There's lots of stuff to do with the exhaust and some heat shields that need doing, and the rear exhaust hangers, and hopefully going to put a new tip on. I'd like to try and source a square tip, but they are very hard to get hold of. Interestingly, the square tips on the T-5R used to be about the same shape as the Omologato logo, the original exhaust on those yellow cars. But yeah, I'd love to try and find one of those, but they are like hen's teeth. Fit the drain screw and seal to the intercooler. So this is the slight bodge that we talked about. There's a bit of a difference of opinion on whether that's a good thing to do or not. I've seen it done quite a lot. I've done it myself in the past, so I'm going to go with it, but I will do a bit of investigation. I'm interested to know if you've had issues with doing that. Put in the comments below and let me know your experience. Then we are on to the rear of the car, so rear shock absorbers, rear bumper brackets. They were completely shot with the galvanic corrosion between the aluminium bumper bar and the brackets that hold that to the car. Space saver tyre, that was terrible, so they replaced the space saver tyre, give it all a clean as well, it's quite mouldy. And then we've got renewed timing belt and all the drive belts, so that's the labour cost of doing all of that. And then for the front end, it's going to be subframe off, because there's a few things we need to do at the front end. Basically a full refurb on the struts, so new front coil springs, new shocks, new top mounts, new bumpers and covers, refresh some ball joints, ball joint covers as required, rectify the twisted brake hose on the front, and there's probably going to be a few brake lines and fittings that need doing, and then we're not going to refit the original subframe. So we're actually going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go a bit OEM plus. I want to keep the Volvo very visually standard and relatively mechanically standard, but you'll notice it already has a Volvo towing accessory that most of the rest of us would call a strut brace onto the bonnet, which is an original Volvo part. And in keeping with the original Volvo theme, Volvo went on to develop some interesting models from the 850. So first of all, it became the V70, the first gen V70. And then that came with a two-door sibling, the C70. And then eventually that came with a convertible version, the C70C, I suspect it was called. And they had some interesting modifications to strengthen the chassis because they'd taken a lot of structure out. And one of those things was a new subframe. So the subframe shape is effectively the same, but they came with aluminium solid engine mounts on the cabriolet, and also a brace that connects the subframe to the connection point further back in the chassis where there's a jacking point that basically then strengthens the relationship between the engine and subframe with the whole chassis, and should, in theory, sharpen up the handling a little bit. So I happen to have one, well, technically I've got two sets of them, but I had one that was in a reasonable condition and wrapped up ready to go. So I put those two bits in the car and took them with me to HVS, and Aaron has very kindly accepted that as a job to do. They don't really do modification to vehicles, they try to keep everything as standard as they can, but this is sort of an OEM plus, and so it's all bolt-on parts and should be super easy. Unlike a modern car with OBD2, you can't just plug a computer into this Volvo, but it does have an ECU and it does store codes. So you can read the codes by plugging a little fly lead into one of the terminals into the bonnet, which then causes it to read out the code as a set of LED flashes that you can note down and check. So we're going to do that diagnostic, see if there's any faults stored, rectify those, check again. So there's a charge for the work involved in that because it is quite slow going. And then there's a few things that have already been diagnosed, don't need the OBD1 reader, I guess is what that is, to check. So near side front headlight washer was inoperative. We think that's just blockage or one of the non-return valves has failed. Rear wash wipes, the wiper was moving but there was no water coming out, so trace that. Again, probably an issue in one bit of pipe work or a little valve that's seized. And then we need to trace, there's a Trax and ABS light on. So Trax being traction control, is one of the very early cars with traction control, and it has ABS, so it's got ABS sensors all around. I think it's the ABS module. They suffer from dry joints on where they're all soldered, and it's a common thing to take the back off that and just refresh all of the soldered joints. Something that Aaron has done plenty of in the past, so he said he'll have a go at that. See if that rectifies a problem. If not, then we're going to do some fault finding, see whether there's any issue in the wiring to the ABS sensors on the four corners of the car, or if indeed the rings or sensors themselves need replacing. So we then have a parts list. So that was all the kind of labour items, and then to go with that there is the refrigerant, disposal of the old tyres, wheel balancing weights, tyre valves, bulbs, engine oil, genuine oil filter, sump plug gaskets, wipers, etc. The list goes on and on and on. Tailgate struts, discs, pads, handbrake fitting kit, shoes for the handbrake, shock absorbers, genuine Volvo battery, which is quite cool, nice to have one of those. The timing belt itself, all the associated drive belts. The timing belt I think comes with the water pump as well as a kit, because it makes sense to do all of that together. Various brackets, some screws and fixings for things in the wheel arch. Some of the wheel arch liners seem to have lost their little mounting screws. To get all of that looking good. Spring seats, bump stops, top mounts, the list goes on and on and on and on. Bits for the exhaust, and potential speed sensor and condenser if we need to do any further work to the air conditioning systems that are listed on here as well. And then it says customer to supply tyres, so I still need to get onto that. And then the final page, this is the important page. Well, it's an important page for Aaron and his team. It's the scary page for me. This is the cost. So before I give you the numbers, I need to point out, so this isn't a pro bono job, this isn't an influencer getting stuff for free job. I am paying for all of the work, but HVS have been incredibly kind because of the volume of work that needs doing on this car, and because I'm in no rush, they can do this as a sort of optional job in between other things, helps them balance load in the garage. and also because it's something of a little bit of interest to them, and so they are doing me a slightly discounted labour rate, but yeah, I'm paying for all of the parts at full price. So the labour charge at the discounted rate comes out at £1,176.65, which, given the amount of stuff on here, actually that's very, very cheap. So thank you to Aaron and the team for that. Parts, so there's just under £2,000 worth of parts, £1,967.59 to be exact. There's a bit of a cover charge here for sundries and consumables, things you just get used in the garage. And then there's VAT on top of that, so we've got £638.91 in VAT, which gives a grand total of just shy of £4,000, so £3,833.15. That's assuming if everything on this list needs completing. There may be other things that possibly spill over if there's additional diagnosis and additional parts they find as they start taking things apart. So all in all, by the time we do that, plus the tyres, which I need to source, plus there's a little bit of welding that needs doing and a little bit of bodywork that needs doing, which isn't a thing that Hereford Volvo specialists do, but they do know some people locally who they're going to try and source somebody to come in and quote, and then I can sort out directly with that third party while it's down there in Hereford, so that everything's done without moving it around the country to finish the job. I don't know what those are going to commit yet, we're still working through that process, but I think the total is going to come in somewhere between £4,500 and £5,000. So the question is, £5,000, would you restore this T-5R? I'm not going to leave you on a cliffhanger with this, because to me it's an absolute no-brainer. Of course we're going to put this car back on the road, not just because the car is cool and it's worth it, but also because the car is very special to me, and so it was never not going to get completed. I'm going to end the video there. I just want to say thank you very much to Aaron and to everybody at Hereford Volvo Specialist and Tiff as well, who has been helping out with lots of little bits on social media and pushing my videos and making lots of little content. So thank you very, very much. And I cannot wait to see you again and see the car as it's progressing. I don't know whether I'll get to see it in between now and it being finished. So the next video on the Volvo might be a short update, or it might even be us going and seeing the finished car. In the meantime, there's lots of other content coming on the channel. So as you probably saw in one of my shorts the other day, I have just come back from the 24 hours of Le Mans, as if you can't tell by the bits and pieces in the background here. So there are some videos coming on that, a bit of prep work we have to do on the Bentley to get that ready to go. And as you can see, I'm sitting here, I have a tan, I clearly made it to Le Mans and made it back. So slight spoiler, the Bentley did make it with relatively small amount of issues, which is great. Much better than last time we tried, where we got less than 10 miles before we had a failure to proceed. That on the floor would be LHM fluid, which has dripped out while we've been sat here, along with the whole underside of the car being coated. It would appear that while we were driving along, when we hit a bump, the excess pressure in the system, which is shared between the suspension and the brakes, has burst a line, which meant not only did the back end of the car go down, like this. You'll also know, I think, those that are familiar with the channel, that I have spent a bit of time in Canada recently, which was an amazing trip. I haven't done a video on the road trips as such, because it was a family holiday, but we did have 2 hire cars, so I'll be doing some reviews on those hire cars as well. And there's some fairly interesting stuff, North American only spec vehicles, which is quite cool. So look out for those vehicle reviews on the channel coming up as well. Right, that's all for this video. We will see you next time, where we are prepping for Le Mans that's already happened, because these are a bit out of sequence. So, see you next time. Bye. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.